Howdy, with this video, I want to introduce you to essay number 2, let you know how that's going to work. It's not an easy one, but it's one that's certainly doable. Just to look at the schedule real quickly, I'm doing this video on Tuesday the 28th. Most of you are watching Oedipus the King and working with a doll, or working with a dollhouse. But on Thursday, the first paragraph of essay number 2 is due. It's okay if that comes in on Friday. There's a little wiggle room there. But the draft's due next Monday. You're going to notice when we hit next Monday, there's only 2 weeks left in the course, so not a lot of time to play with. I'll look at your full drafts, get those back to you hopefully by Tuesday. You can revise it on Wednesday and turn it in. Again, if you need an extra day there, that's fine, but notice that response number 8 is coming due on Thursday. Response number 9 is on Friday. Working with poetry a little bit once we get done with the drama. Then that last week, we're working with essay number 3. Hopefully you'll find essay number 3, I don't want to say easier, but there's no research involved. It's you versus a poem. Just going through the poem, telling us what you see in there, which is easy to say. It's harder to do when you write it all out. But we're saving hopefully the easiest essay for last. Then I need to get everything graded and done by Sunday the 16th there, because don't forget, our Northeast State classes start on August 17th. And I'm going to be teaching an overload, so I got to get 6 classes ready for August 17th, which should be fun. That's not your problem, but so the material for essay number 2 is up here on the content page under material for essay number 2. You'll see the assignment sheet. You'll see an essay you have to read, Brian Johnston's Realism in a Dollhouse, and then there's just a handout about quoting from the drama. Oedipus the King is verse drama. You're going to quote it like poetry, which should help us get ready for the poetry essay as well. A dollhouse is simply non-verse drama. You'll quote it like you do a short story or something like that. And that's what the handout goes through. But all this is up there on the content page. To look at the essay assignment first, you're going to write a 1,000-word minimum guided research essay, and by guided research, the only thing you're going to use is Brian Johnston's Realism in a Dollhouse. I'm sending you to where the research is going to take place. There shouldn't be any other research going on in this essay. This should be you looking at realism in a dollhouse and developing your essay based on that. You're going to use MLA formatting, of course. This one's not quite as formulaic as the first one. You get to choose how many paragraphs you want and how you're going to handle all that. But the first paragraph, pretty prescriptive. You should introduce, summarize, quote, and discuss one of the ideas from Brian Johnston's essay, Realism in a Dollhouse. We'll look at that here in just a second. Your first paragraph should end with a clear thesis statement that relates how you will develop this idea brought up by Johnston to a dollhouse, to Oedipus King, and then one other work we've read this semester, probably one of the works of fiction. You should give all 3 works fairly equal weight in your essay, and you're free to disagree with Johnston in your essay as well. So just to stop there, let's go look at that essay. When you first start reading it, it's going to be a little intimidating. Brian Johnston is an Ibsen scholar. This means he's read all of Ibsen's plays in the original Norwegian, and he's thought about this all his academic life. He just died recently. And so he's way ahead of us. I don't expect to understand everything within this essay unless you have read all of Ibsen's plays in the original Norwegian. And I've worked with translations with the plays and everything like that. He's just going to be quite a few steps ahead of us. Again, I'm not expecting you to understand everything within this essay, but you're going to try and find one idea you can work with and develop into your own essay. So as you're reading, some of this may go a little over your head. It'd be weird if it didn't. It goes over my head, at least. But you're just going to kind of go through and try and find 1 or 2 ideas you might want to work with. I've highlighted a couple here. One, he gets into this idea of different laws for men and women. You might find this a little sexist. This might be a little dated. Another problem with this essay, it's in draft form. It's also a humanities-based essay. If you're used to science or math, a humanities essay can meander a bit, and you kind of like get to your point, and he's not going to do that. He's going to throw out a lot of ideas. He may not pursue them all. Generally, that's kind of okay within a humanities essay. This one's in draft form, which makes it even better because he'll just toss out an idea, and you're like, wow, that's a cool idea, and he never discusses it again. But it'll make for a good essay for you if you find one of those ideas. So you may not be up on your Hegelian parallels. But you can certainly think in terms of men and women being treated differently, particularly within a dollhouse. How you translate that into Oedipus the King in another work might be a little bit more of a challenge. Although there are sections within Oedipus the King where we see how Oedipus treats Jocasta at times, how he talks to his daughters at the very end. It's kind of interesting there. So you might be able to work an idea like that into a pretty good essay. Like I said, some of the stuff you're going to kind of go like, okay. But another idea here, Dollhouse charts the possible spiritual awakening of Torvald and Norva, both Torvald and Nora. Talking about a dollhouse, obviously. You might get into your essay whether or not that's true. Is Torvald really capable of a spiritual awakening, at least within the context of the play? Likewise, you might get into that question of Oedipus versus Jocasta. Jocasta doesn't seem to quite make the spiritual leap that Oedipus seems to be able to do. She seems so shocked that she just goes off and kills herself. Um, so you might get into that idea a little bit. You might actually disagree with Johnston a little bit if you don't think Torvald is capable of that kind of awakening, or you might agree with him. It's up to you. Depends how you see the play. And of course, you're going to apply this to one other work we've read this semester, and there's quite a few of those that might apply to this. In fact, what makes these essays interesting is what that third work students tend to choose to work with. And again, you're going to read through this. Some of this you're just going to look at and go like, no, I don't know. I can't make that into a good essay. But hopefully it's kind of interesting to see what scholarship at this level looks like, and particularly what a scholar at this level, how he thinks and works through some of these ideas, and how he looks at the play as well. This idea that each person shares the guilt of the society to which they belong, by being a human being, you're kind of sharing your culture's guilt. Kind of an interesting question right now with Black Lives Matter and all that, right? But you can probably relate that pretty quickly to the Ibsen play, The Dollhouse. It's interesting that the entire culture gets punished for Oedipus's transgressions, right? Why not just punish Oedipus and let him work through it? Instead, the gods punish all of Thebes, and they have to kind of share the guilt a little bit, even though they didn't participate. And again, you're going to pick one other work that you've read for the semester, maybe apply that idea. Kind of an interesting line of thought there, isn't it? But again, you're not trying to understand this entire essay. You're trying to pick one idea that you're going to make your own and then analyze three works, Dollhouse, Oedipus, and one other work in your own essay. So don't think you're just going to copy this idea and just write about it. You're going to have to take this idea and tell us how you're going to make it your own. This idea that we kind of write sentimental stories about ourselves and we create these stories and we believe in them, then we're shocked when they don't turn out to be true or they're revealed to be false, like which happens to Oedipus and both Oedipus and Jocasta. Definitely happens to Torvald. He has this beautiful idea of what his marriage is like, and all of a sudden at the end, she's gone, right? But you're just going to go through again whatever kind of strikes you. This idea that we can quarantine ourselves from social evil. Oedipus kind of thinks he's done that, been able to do that. Torvald thinks he's been able to do that, and you can find one of the other works where somebody might think they're able to do that. But you're going to try and find one idea. You get back to this essay assignment. And you're going to figure out a way to make your own and analyze those three works within the body of your essay. The body of the essay should be your own thoughts relating Johnson's idea to those works, but not necessarily just his idea, but your kind of interpretation of that idea. So one, you're going to quote what Johnson's saying, then you're going to kind of tell us what you think he means by that, right? Then apply that idea to your analysis. But no other research. Don't summarize these works. I've read all of them. I've seen that Oedipus video at least 20 times. So don't just start telling me what happens within that Oedipus video, because I'm just going to don't do that. Same thing with the Dollhouse. I've read it many, many times. Don't just tell me Nora knows this and knows this and knows this, because yeah, no, I've read that. How does this relate to this idea you're taking from Johnson and making your own? Johnston, I'm sorry. Make sure you have a well-developed concluding paragraph. Don't just repeat what you say in your essay. What kind of lesson is the reader supposed to take away from your analysis? How does this apply to our modern lives? Kind of make sure you kind of take us out to the big picture there a little bit. And make sure you have Johnston and the 3 works on a works status page. You're going to quote at least once from each of the works, and that includes Johnston. So you got to have a quote from Johnston, one from Oedipus the King, one from A Dollhouse, and one from that 3rd work. Also, you should have at least one long quote, one short quote from the work somewhere within your essay. Want to make sure you understand how to format those. It doesn't matter which work you're doing that from. Got to have all the fun punctuation and watch out for the forbidden words there. Not an easy essay, but it's doable once you figure out what idea you want to work with and how you're going to make it your own within the essay. And again, when you send me that first paragraph on Thursday or Friday, we're going to make sure you're on the right track there before you write the whole draft. But if you have any questions, again, getting to that topic can be kind of hard, but I'm here to help you do it. We'll leave it there, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.